Hello, everyone, and where's my microphone? You probably can't hear me, can you? Let me get my microphone. I'll be right back. All right, I found my microphone. The microphone was hiding everyone. I was moving everything around yesterday. I was playing the keyboard, learning a song. That will be a video at some point. It'll be a lovely hymn. It's a lovely hymn. I'm just changing the lyrics around a little bit. So I moved the microphone around, and that's why it was lost for a couple of minutes. My name is Andrew Hall. You can call me Dr. Kennard. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. We cover the news through a secular humanist, an atheist, an anti-theist. They're all meaning basically the same, more or less, everyone, viewpoint. Hope you're doing well. I'd like to start off the show with something funny. So let's do something funny, everyone.
Yeah!
All right, that was a fast video. In case you're just tuning in, I'm going to show it one more time. All right.
Yeah!
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I hope you're all doing well this morning. Checking out who's in the chat right now. John Hudson's here. Good morning. Simply Secular Day from the West Coast here. First person here, 8:32 this morning. Congratulations. 5 points for being here early. And of course, Blazing. Good morning, Americats. Good morning. John Hudson writes, Ayn Rand, Rand Paul, and Paul Ryan walk into a bar. The bartender sends them tainted alcohol because there's no regulation. They die. That's right. Tobin Templeman. Good morning. Good morning. Tesla Ranger. Scott Duke. Jess M. Dee Parks. You know, that's a good observation, Dee Parks. I'm glad that you wrote that. Clicking the like button gives a fairy wings. Very nice, right? It was a cute video. Clever, too. You shaved. That's right, John Hudson. Yeah, this is me. Unshaven. I decided to grow the beard when I discovered that I look less like a Republican, like an old school Republican, right? Like someone like a George H. Bush Republican. And so growing a bit of scruff around my face made me look a little bit less like a traditional GOP. But now I'm afraid, everyone, I'm afraid that when I do have a beard, it makes me look like one of those January 6th rioters. I don't know. Good news over here, by the way. Good news is that my Rand Paul post that I wrote on my blog, Laughing in Disbelief, hasn't gone viral. It's gone kind of sort of mini-viral, small viral. There's a difference between getting hundreds of thousands of views and just getting tens of thousands of views. And it looks like that one's going to get tens of thousands of views, which isn't bad. Because when something goes really well on my blog, then people find out about the Laughing in Disbelief YouTube channel, as well as the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. And so it's all kind of tangled together. So who knows? Maybe we'll get more viewers this way. I don't know, everyone. The internet's just a bag of stupid tricks, and I just try to learn those tricks. All right. Sean, hello. So what are the stories we're covering today, everyone? NEWSMAX getting sued. Evangelicals versus women. Is there a video to this? There is a video. I'm glad that you asked. Guns versus firefighters. You might have seen the thumbnail of a gun being pointed at, and I forget who that is on Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol's a kid's show. My kids were a bit old for that. Didn't watch a lot of Paw Patrol. And Jon Stewart in the news with Pete Davidson. So that's we're gonna end with that heartwarming and happy story, because there's so many stories that aren't heartwarming or happy. Australian breakthroughs, breakthrough in medicine over in Australia. And did that guy resign yesterday? You know who I'm talking about. The guy over there in New York. He resigned. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show a video of him trying to spin the situation. All right. You want to do some memes? Let's meme. All right. First one. Oh, it's a cat meme too. When you let out a huge fart and the pain in your stomach vanishes. Inner peace. That is one happy looking cat there. Very satisfied, everyone. Very satisfied. All right, second one. Oh, this is old school. Old school stuff here. Little known fact, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is the only movie in the Rocky series not to feature Sylvester Stallone. You may not know that. You may not know that, everyone. I remember fondly waiting outside at midnight in Harvard Square many years ago, when there was a movie theater in Harvard Square, by the way. Well, there were two movie theaters. Now there's only one. And waiting to see the midnight rendition of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. All right. Who doesn't like tacos? Who wants some fucking tacos? Weird. Making it awkward here, everyone. This is awkward. But funny. Awkward and funny, huh? All right. Oh, Rocky. That's right. All right. Let's go to the first news story. Damn it, Janet. Let's get screwed. That's right. First serious. NEWSMAX. Dominion sues NEWSMAX and One America over U.S. election fraud claims. Sure. We know that Dominion's is suing Rudy Giuliani for the lies he'd said about Dominion voting systems, their voting machines. But there's enough litigation for everyone. So let's take a look at this story. Links in the description. Reuters. Dominion Voting Systems Corp. on Tuesday sued two conservative media networks, One America News Network and NEWSMAX Media Incorporated, saying they defamed the U.S. voting machine company by spreading false claims that it rigged the 2020 election against then U.S. President Donald Trump. Dominion also filed a lawsuit making similar allegations against businessman Patrick Byrne, the former chief executive of online retailer Overstock.com. The lawsuits are the latest legal actions taken by Denver-based Dominion against Trump allies that amplified false theories about the firm. In each one of the three lawsuits filed on Monday, Dominion is seeking more than, that's a lot of money, $1.6 billion in damages, citing lost profits and other harms. Right, we've been covering this story for quite a while. People at Dominion were being targeted by lunatic MAGA militia, lunatic MAGA people. They were being personally targeted, and they suffered. They suffered because of the lies from NEWSMAX, One America, Rudy Giuliani. NEWSMAX in April apologized to a Dominion employee for baselessly alleging that he rigged the company's vote counts against Trump. In exchange, the employee, Eric Coomer, dropped NEWSMAX from a defamation suit. OANN representatives in Byrne did not immediately respond to requests for comment. How much will they settle for, everyone? Because they'll probably settle out of court, right? They'll say, what's the defense for conservatives? It's like the Tucker Carlson defense, the Joe Rogan defense. It's the, we're not really news. You can't really take us seriously, right? Maybe they'll throw that up too. I don't know. But I'm wondering how much they're going to settle for. They're getting sued for $1.6 billion. They'll probably settle out of court. Maybe. Trump allies, including lawyers Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, picked up an online conspiracy theory that Dominion machines were used to hack the election and made those baseless allegations during the appearances on conservative television stations, the ones that are being sued. Giuliani and Powell, who have been also sued by Dominion, say they were legally exercising their free speech rights. In a call with reporters, Dominion attorney Stephen Shackelford of the Sussman Godfrey law firm did not rule out suing Trump. Why don't they sue Trump? That would be fun. I think they should be suing Trump. That's what I think, right? I think that would be hilarious amongst all the other lawsuits that Trump is facing, having Dominion put the hammer on them because, maybe Dominion is looking for some kind of legal precedent before suing the president or the former president of the United States of America. That'd be pretty sweet. Gonna check out the chat. And hey, everyone, if you're watching on Facebook right now, you're gonna see that I'm interacting with the chat here. I am limited in how I can interact with you if you're watching on Facebook. If you head on over to the Laughing in Disbelief YouTube channel, you can join us and I can, communicate with you directly, or at least via the chat. You know what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mike Lindell, Lee. Good to see you. Mike Lindell's going to be buried in the court system, too. Yeah, that guy's just digging his pit a little bit deeper every single day. Well, that's right, Sean. NEWSMAX, and America Last. Nothing but Christian nationalist propaganda. That's right. When Fox News isn't crazy enough for you, you need to go to NEWSMAX and America First. What's up, KCA Randy? Simply Secular Dave, I don't know. The thing will be decided when the thing is decided. That's circular reasoning. I know that, everyone. But sometimes, people talk tough. People talk tough before the game, before the show starts, before the game starts, right? Both sides of a football game, game, they'll be like, yeah, we're going to win the game. We're not going to give any inch. Remember Andrew Cuomo, just like a week ago, saying, I'm never going to resign. So, you know what? I'm going to put a wager right now that they're going to pay. I would be. It may not be smart money, but I think they will pay something without claiming any guilt, of course. What's up, Imaginary God? What's up? All right, everyone. What are we going to do next? You want to talk about Australia, right? You want to talk about Australia? Let's talk about Australia and a new possible medical breakthrough. That sounds pretty cool, Andy. Tell us more. I will. What do we got going on here? Australians develop a new medicine to help combat Parkinson's, everyone. My uncle had Parkinson's, and it did horrible things to him. Here he goes. Here's the news story.
This is a hydrogel that could be used as a one-off intervention to treat Parkinson's disease. Researchers from the Australian National University, in collaboration with the Florey Institute of Neuroscience and Mental Health, have developed a substance made up of amino acids. It can be injected into the brain to help repair damage. The hydrogel transforms into a liquid when shaken, making it easier to be inserted through a small capillary. It then reverts into its solid form, filling up irregularly shaped voids and helps safely transport replacement stem cells to injured parts of the brain. The gel could also be used to help people who have suffered from other neurological conditions, such as strokes. Professor David Nisbet is one of the researchers from the project.
But for me, I suppose the real game changer here is that it's sort of a one-off intervention. So foreseeably, a patient would come to the hospital presenting with Parkinson's disease, and they would just need this sort of one intervention to potentially alleviate many of their symptoms for years to come.
The product has only been tested on animals so far. Nisbet hopes clinical trial will start in the next 5 years, after it has proven safe for human use.
But they're also relatively cheap. They're very sophisticated, but they are relatively cheap to produce. And the important part of that is that we can actually scale them up into mass production relatively easily.
Parkinson's is a brain disorder that causes shaking and difficulty with walking, balance, and coordination, and worsens over time. Globally, over 10 million people are estimated to be living with the incurable disease.
So, Sean says, my dad has tardive dyskinesia, which is similar. Yeah, I've known people who have tardive dyskinesia too, Sean. It's and they do have similar symptoms to Parkinson's. Yeah, it's a horrible ailment, horrible disease condition. So that's a bright, shining bit of news right there. It will be amazing. It will be amazing. And if it's true, then if it does work in people, I mean, who knows when we're going to see it? What? The girlfriend's not in the chat, so I don't know when how long it takes, because you got to go through the stage 1 trial, stage 2 trial, stage 3 trials before it gets approved by the FDA, for an example. And so I know it takes years. It's years long process. All right. What are we doing next, everyone, huh? Well, I believe the injection. I don't know, imaginary God. I don't know. Though I did realize that in Australia, they pronounce capillary in a different way that we do here in the States. That was the other takeaway. I don't know if you noticed that either. Silly Andy. Why? This is okay. Evangelicals versus women. It wouldn't be the Disappointed Cat morning show, at least shining a light onto the death cult known as evangelical Christianity and how horrible they are, right? What's up, B? Hope you're doing okay this morning. All right. So this is from the Friendly Atheist. And are there links in the description? Yes, there are. Let's check it out. Jessi Lee Peterson. Educated women is one of the worst mistakes ever made. Yes. Yes. Jessi Lee Peterson. He always seems to just say the craziest things for the most horrible reasons. I would like to think that I say crazy things for the best of reasons, perhaps. But he says the most horrible things for the worst of reasons. Here we go. Right-wing radio host Jessi Lee Peterson, who said in the past that Amy Coney Barrett didn't belong on the Supreme Court because she ought to be in the kitchen, and that the election of Republican women have weakened the GOP, and that it was generally a big mistake to educate women, is still promoting his bizarre brand of misogyny. Words I'm not going to read. I'm going to let Jessi, because we're on a first name basis, me and Jessi, speak for himself. Here's the video, everyone.
I've said over and over again that one of the worst mistakes that this country has ever made was to educate women. And that a man should never, ever, ever, never, if he want a family, never, ever, but if you just want to have sex, you can marry a woman with educated. But a man should never marry a woman who is educated. She would never, ever, ever make for a good mother and a good wife. A good wife and a good mother.
Well, that's words of wisdom right there from Jessi Lee Peterson. I mean, anyone that has 3 names, they have to be pretty smart, right? Right, microphone agrees. Oh, man, I'm going to check out the chat and see what's going on there. Jessi Lee Peterson is one of the worst mistakes ever made. Yeah, I could see that, right? All right. Yeah. So Jessi Lee Peterson, I don't know. I don't know about you, any of you who are watching, any of you who are in the chat, but I want to surround myself with people smarter than I am, people more talented than I am, people who help me and care about me and can keep me on track. Right? Quentin Tarantino said, in an interview that he always wants to be the weak link in any team, in any kind of film team. He always wants to be around people that will make him better. And I'm not surprised that Jesse Lee Peterson wants people around him that make him dumber. I'm not surprised. Tesla Ranger, it's so absurd what Jesse Lee Peterson says. I don't think he believes it. I think he's another liar for Jesus, right? I think he's just another liar for Jesus out there. And he's a grifter. Of course he's a grifter. He's just trying to make a buck from his AM hate radio show. Wow. All right. What have we done so far? Memes. We've talked about NEWSMAX getting sued. And of course, evangelicals versus women. An Australian potential breakthrough about Parkinson's. And now, it might be a little early for the halftime tummy rub show, but I'm going to do it. Good morning, Kendra. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to do the halftime tummy rub show. Please hit the like button in case you've gotten any value from this show so far. It helps. It helps. And if you could subscribe to the channel, if you enjoy the content that is usually on the channel, it's a wide variety of what is here. Sometimes I just do some standalone funny videos. Other times we do some deep dives and have some really great conversations with some notable notables. And of course, it's the Disappointed Cat Morning Show too. So it's, yes, more likes, please. Blazing says, indeed. All right, let's do something. This is actually a really fun bit that I'm about to show you, this little short video. And I can't speak any more about it. I can't speak anymore. I don't want to get myself into trouble. And so I'm just going to zip my mouth up and show the clip.
I used to be a fundamentalist, bit of a Baptist, which means, among other things, I was obligated to give a substantial amount of my income to my church. A practice called tithing because it sounds better than spiritually manipulative financial coercion. Anyway, I was driving down Lake Street recently and I remembered how bad I used to be at it. I never even came close to the 10% that is minimum if you're gonna make God happy. Pause. I just now noticed how fucking bizarre it is that God is our Father and we're supposed to pay him? Unpause. Yes, I hated myself for never giving enough, but that's okay because fundamentalist Christians are supposed to hate themselves. But in a split second over there on Lake Street, I felt this sense of relief, and it wasn't just because I was on my way to get tacos. I felt this age-old guilt that I didn't even know was there still turn into peace. Like, not only did I not do something wrong way back then, I actually did something right without meaning to. I spent all my money on rent and gas, guitars and CDs, and diapers, formula, baby food, and almost none went to God. For all the horrible ideas and practices I used to be a part of in evangelical Christianity, I didn't personally fund almost any of it, and I'm pretty fucking happy about that. All right, that's enough religion for a minute. I think my next video is going to be about how awesome clickbait is.
So that was Abraham Piper. He's pretty big on TikTok, does great videos, does great work. Checking out the chat. There has to be someone out there, and tell me if I'm wrong. There has to be at least more than one evangelical out there who instead thinks that they're tithing 10%, but don't understand decimals. And so they're actually just doing 1%. I think there's more than just, there has to, it's like, hey, look, tithing isn't that bad. I have all this money. And that's because you don't understand decimals and where the point goes. All right. Checking out the chat. Let's see. Now I'm getting hungry. Disappointed. How disappointed is this cat? Mildly, marginally, bitterly. I'm a pretty happy cat all around, despite everything. Despite everything, I'm still pretty happy. Oh, now, right? Then there's the whole thing of, do I tie the gross income with the net income? Obviously, you do the gross income. You're going to hell for asking that question. You're going to fictitious hell, Scott Duke. You ask anyone, I think. The people who I have known, who I've known to tithe, they do 10% off the top, 10% of gross income. Oh, defund religion. That's right. That's right. All right. You think it's net income? Simply Secular Dave, you think tithing is supposed to be, is that the official edict? I don't know. All right. What are we doing next? Guns versus firefighters. I wish to my fictitious God that this was a fake story, but it's not. Were guns pulled on firefighters? Yes, there were. Were the firefighters just trying to help people? Yes, they were. Is this a story that you say to yourself, well, that I'm not really that surprised because it's the United States of America where people are kind of crazy and there are guns everywhere? Yeah, that's also true. Fuck 10%. I still can't figure how three gods are one. No one knows that, Dr. Mordecai. No one knows how three gods are one. They're just playing. Who was it? It was one of the church fathers who said, the Trinity only makes sense. The Trinity only makes sense if you believe in it. All right. Let's go to this story, everyone. Let's do this story. Is this a story? Nope, that's the old story. Here's the new story. Californians draw guns on firefighters trying to rescue them from wildfire. I just did a collective sigh for all of us. I hope it was sufficient for the sigh. Quote, we have firefighters getting guns pulled out on them because people don't want to evacuate, a California fire officials said, or California fire officials said. Some firefighters battling the massive Dixie fire raging in Northern California have faced some unforeseen challenges when trying to evacuate residents in harm's way. Local KPIX reported that firefighters working to evacuate the historic mountain town of Greenville last week encountered residents who refused to leave their property and threatened firefighters with weapons as the blaze moved in on the town. There is stuff out there that we didn't want to see. Again, talking about the people out there dealing with evacuations. We are all challenged. Law enforcement's challenged. We have firefighters getting guns pulled out on them because people don't want to evacuate. Jake Kagel, Operations Section Chief for California Incident Management, said during a Thursday morning briefing, according to KPIX. I don't think it's necessary to pull a gun on a firefighter if the firefighter is just coming around saying, there's a fire coming your way and there are orders to leave and maybe you should be going. What's the firefighter going to do? Spray them down with water? They're not going to force them out, are they? Plymouth's County Supervisor Greg Hagwood told the LA Times last week that law enforcement was also met with weapons as evacuations grew tense. They are met with people who have guns and are yelling or saying, "Get off my property. And you're not telling me to leave," he told the outlet. Did you like my inbred idiot voice, everyone? That was my best inbred idiot voice. He said deputies asked those property owners for next of kin information in case those refusing to leave died during the blaze. So, hey, I understand you don't want to leave. Sure, the largest fire, I believe, in California history is coming this way. You're pulling a gun on me because I'm asking you, I'm telling you should really leave because you're going to die. And die from burning, too. Die from smoke inhalation and burning. I would imagine some of the worst ways of dying. But can we at least have your next of kin information so we can tell them what fucking idiots you are? Oh, and you're dead, too. Oh, is that the end of the story? That was the end of the story, everyone. So that's it. California, people out there, out in the woods, living their best lives, pulling guns on firemen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the fire, the firemen, they're fighting this huge fire, of course, and then they're getting guns pulled on them at the same time. Do you think they get idiot double pay? Do you think they get extra pay for when they have to interact with idiots like that? I hope they do. I hope they would. It is a huge fire. Yeah. Really, Sean, you're currently choking on some of that smoke from the fire. Points gun. Get off my fire scorched hellscape. Indeed. What happened to the video quality? Has the video quality changed within the last minute or two? Blazing Wizard Pope? Maybe it has. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's a good point, Cryptameria. People don't realize how fast a fire can travel. And fires can travel awfully fast. It's dependent on the wind, of course. When I was in LA, I've been out to LA a bunch of times. And it turns out that one of the most common bushes out there. Well, I went to the Getty Museum. And if you've ever been to LA, you should go to I'm going to shoot you for a minute. If you go to LA, go to the Getty Museum. It's beautiful. It's up on a mountain. It's beautiful artwork. The architecture is wonderful. You get to see all around the area too. And during one of the tours, the tour guide said, one of the reasons why we have so many wildfires is that, and I forget the name of the bush, it's actually flammable. The bush secretes this resin, this oil that makes it light up really fast. And that's one of the reasons why they had so many wildfires in the past. And of course, now it's global warming. It's global warming just exacerbating, making worse everything. Wildfires, floods, crazy rains. It lagged a little bit. The video's 5x5 there. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know, everyone. Like 1 FFP fuzzy. I don't know, man. I don't know the name of the bush. Don't drive to Getty. Take an Uber. Yeah. It is beautiful. I've been there a couple of times, and it's definitely worth half a day, maybe a full day at the Getty Museum. Okay. What's the last story? Actually, we have two stories. So this video about Governor Andrew Cuomo resigning, former Andrew Cuomo resigning, it went long, and if you saw his talk yesterday, a lot of it was, for the better interest of New York City, of New York State, I'm going to be resigning. And, times change. And I love you, New York. Everything I've done, every woman's breast I cut, every hand assault, sexual assault I've done, it's all been for you, New York State. And even this 2-minute video was too long for me to show you. So I'm just going to cut through as much of the bullshit as humanly possible and just have the part that he is saying, oh, by the way, I'm leaving. And even that, he does it in the most kind of asshole, the most indirect way possible. All right, let's take a look at this. The name of the video is New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announces resignation amid harassment claims. Woohoo! Rock and roll. Let's see what we can do here. He looks so sad. He looks that creepy uncle who's really sad.
Means New York loving. And I love New York. And I love you. And everything I have ever done has been motivated by that love. And I would never want to be unhelpful in any way. And I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do. Because I work for you. And doing the right thing is doing the right thing for you. Because as we say, it's not about me. It's about we. Kathy Hochul, my lieutenant governor, is smart and competent. This transition must be seamless. We have a lot going on. I'm very worried about the Delta variant. and so should you be. But she can come up to speed quickly, and my resignation will be effective in 14 days.
Black history continues.
New York love is New York love. And I did it all for you, New York. Everything. Oh, what a disgusting person. You know, every single dude who gets caught doing this kind of thing, harassment, assault, it's always the same story, right? It's always the, well, you know, it wasn't really that bad. Or, yes, looking at you, Louis C.K. Or, you know, times have changed. Or they just like, you know, it's just what goes on. So Andrew Cuomo's out. I'm not sad. I'm not sad at all. You know, Cryptameria, and this is true. There's just so many things wrong with his speech. I wanted to just cut out as much as I could, but it is creepy when he mentions his daughters. Yeah, no shame. No shame. But as we know, you know, the higher up in power, the further up you go in the hierarchy of our crazy primate hierarchy, the greater chance it is that you're a sociopath, right? You're either conditioned to act in a psychopathic way, in a non-emotional, treating people like things kind of way, or maybe you're already like that and you just gravitated into the field of politics. Yeah, it was totally creepy. Simply Secular Dave. Listening to Cuomo feels like wearing barf socks. I was thinking about cold oatmeal socks. Simply Secular Dave. If we're going to go with socks, barf socks, far more disgusting. I had the vibe of cold oatmeal. I'm not wearing socks right now, by the way. But if they were, they would be cold oatmeal socks. The governor is quitting to spend more time with his family. Yeah, that's the traditional BS excuse of, oh, I got caught and now I have to go. And, you know, I would not, once again, if he gets impeached, then he will never be able to hold office again in New York State. Him resigning now, hoping not to get impeached, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him around in like 5 or 10 years. You know, if he is around, I don't think he can stay away from it. I think he's addicted to power, addicted to politics. I could see him back in 5 years, everyone. All right, check out what else is going on here. Well, yeah, Tesla Ranger. It's like Ted Cruz blaming his trip to Cancun on his daughters. That's funny, blazing. Start spreading the news. Cuomo's leaving today. Indeed. And you're right. The sign language interpreter did look very enthused, a little happy with his job. All right. What's the last story? This is going to be, you know, and I think everyone that we've had a day of positive news overall, as positive as it can be, right? Cuomo's leaving office, medical breakthrough in Australia about Parkinson's disease. We got NEWSMAX being sued. Those are positive stories. And we're going to talk about Jon Stewart and Peter Davidson because they are doing a special comedy show. And it's going to be coming up pretty soon. Here it is. Jon Stewart and Pete Davidson are doing a 9/11 anniversary comedy show for charity. Two New York comedy icons and several of their famous friends are holding a show to raise money for charities benefiting victims of the September 11th terrorist attacks and their families. Jon Stewart and Pete Davidson will host New York City Still Rising After 20 Years, a comedy celebration at Madison Square Garden on September 12th, a day after the attack's 20th anniversary. The special aims to honor the city's resilience, the comedy said in a joint statement. It's a star-studded roster, which includes the likes of Dave Chappelle, Amy Schumer, Jimmy Fallon. All right, so it's Jimmy Fallon, right? It may not be such a great, yeah. Well, I'll just go on. Colin Jost, Michael Shea, Bill Burr, John Mulaney, and Wanda Sykes. Arguably, you have some of the best living comedians right there. Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, John Mulaney, right there. Everyone else is really good. Don't get me wrong, but those three, obviously in the top 5 of living comedians at this point. Tickets go on pre-sale starting Wednesday, and general tickets available starting at noon on Friday, and proof of vaccination is required. What's that microphone? Proof of vaccination is required. Well, that's pretty good. I did not know this about Pete Davidson. I thought I'd share it with you. The event honors a cause close to both headliners' hearts. Davidson was 7 when his dad, a firefighter, died while responding to the attack at the World Trade Center. I did not know that about the comedian. I knew that he was all loaded up full of tattoos. And he's a funny guy on SNL, to tell you the truth. I enjoy his comedy. The girlfriend doesn't like him too much. She doesn't like his comedy. I think it's just too stupid for her. I like all kinds of comedy. I like stupid comedy. I like smart comedy. Yeah. And Davidson, if you can do dumb really well, I think that makes you smart. I think it's easier for a smart person to act dumb than a dumb person to act smart. What's that microphone? Are you going to make some kind of snide comment about this show? Be quiet. Be quiet. I just fingered the microphone. I'm sorry, everyone, that you had to see that. So, hey, there's more to this story, by the way. So Jon Stewart, you probably remember this. He confronted lawmakers at a House Judiciary Subcommittee hearing on funding for the September 11th Victim Compensation Fund in 2019, criticizing them for not extending the program and the poor turnout at the hearing. They responded in 5 seconds. They did their jobs with courage, grace, tenacity, humility, he said, his voice breaking. 18 years later, do yours. The committee unanimously voted to approve the funds the next day. So Stewart, Pete Davidson, a bunch of really good comedians. Like I said, probably some of the best comedians living right now, going to be doing the special charity event September 12th. I don't know if it's streaming or not. I'm hoping that it will be on Netflix at some point, right? Because Netflix does a ton of comedy shows. And what's really positive about this too is that everyone has to prove that they've been vaccinated. Sean says, I saw that hearing. It was amazing. Yeah. Jack Moody, I am an atheist. I'm an agnostic atheist. Jack Moody. You're a child then? I was actually going to was I a house manager? I was a house manager for people with disabilities, and I was going to get my medication certification on the day of September 11th, right, 2001. And I heard the news from Howard Stern. Howard Stern was the first person to announce the attack of the September 11th attacks, as I recall. I heard it. Someone called in to the Howard Stern show, one of his normal people, and said a plane had just gone into one of the towers. And I'm like, wow, I got to check out the legitimate news sources to see, because that's what we do, right? You hear something, it might not be real. It might just be fake news. Might be a conspiracy theory. So I went over to NPR, went over to the other. No one was playing it for the first probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And so I just went back to Howard Stern to see what they were talking about, because he had someone right there witnessing it. Horrible day. Cryptameria says I was in university. Actually, my ex-wife was pregnant with our first child then too, which just cranked up my anxiety. I said, listen, I gave her a call, and I said, you should really be out of the city, because no one knew what was going to happen. No one knew what was going to happen. It's like, go to your parents. They're outside of Boston, and just stay there for the night at least to see what happens. And that's what she did. Oh yeah, you met Davidson. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. He seems like he's a solid guy. I haven't seen his. Pete Davidson, of course, has that movie out, Staten Island, which covers, I believe, some of the stuff about his dad. And actually, I do want to see it. Maybe I can convince the girlfriend to sit down with me and see it. I don't know. All right. Scapegoat is scary, it says. Yeah, Howard Stern, Sean. Howard Stern was the first one to report 9/11. How crazy is that, right? But it just shows you. You have someone on the right there seeing it. The dude just called up. Scapegoat Scary says, I was helping a friend house cleaning. I had taken a break when I saw the replay of the first tower. Yeah. The after party for humanists, atheists, and political progressives are at 10 a.m. That's right, if you want to be on the panel. But the thing is, Jack, I got to tell you, I don't know you, brother. I'm sure that you're a good guy. But the thing is, I don't let people I just met on the panel. I'll just be honest with you. If you show up for a couple of days, contribute, then that's fine. That's great. But, we've had trolls on the after party after show. So I kind of keep a tight lid on who's coming on the panel. Oh, see, there you go. There you go, Blazing. So that's, Jack Moody. So you can't come on, Jack Moody, because I don't think you're going to be, I don't think you're a trustable person if you're going to be around proselytizing. Fi says, I was working as a security guard at LAX airport. That's terrifying. I was on the taxiway when it came through the radio. Crazy day. It had to have been crazy, Fi. Had to have been crazy. All right, everyone. I'm going to start wrapping up the show. What have we covered? NEWSMAX being sued, evangelicals versus women. Thank you, Crazy Person on AM Hate Radio. Guns versus firefighters in California. Comedy, Pete Davidson. Jon Stewart doing that looks like a great lineup on September 12th. Hopefully it's going to be streamed live. That would be fantastic. Would I pay for it? I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of pennies to rub. But, I should say this. I should say this too. I haven't said it, and I'm horrible at asking people for money, and I've forgotten. Hey, you'll notice that there's no ads on this show. You'll notice that when there's a new video I drop, an uploaded video, there's no ads on that show either. The channel is being run basically on your support, YouTube members and patrons. Please contribute. Like I said, if you can afford it, then throw in a shekel or two. That would be great. Or a penny or two. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Simply Secular Dave says, I was riding my motorcycle to work and didn't know it happened until I got to the shop and everyone was huddled around the one computer on CNN.com. Yeah, it was weird, dude. So I was supposed to be at a training to get my medication administration certification. And they wheeled in a TV. And we got to see the freaking horror just unfold in front of us. Horrible day. Gee, Andy got a dislike. And the funny thing about these likes and dislikes is that it just helps the YouTube algorithm. So, Sean. Well, thank you, Sean. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. So the dislikes actually help in, boost the video in the algorithm as much as likes. So yeah, you can dislike the video all you want. Though I do appreciate those of you who like the video to actually like the video. All right. So what are we doing, everyone? I'm going to do the last video, the last funny video. I know, John Hudson. I got to tell you, brother, yesterday, I didn't have to work yesterday, but I did like 4 blog posts on my blog, Laughing in Disbelief on Pathos. I cranked out a lot of material. I actually worked out for the first time for quite a while. And I did research because a lot of the stuff that I do, either on YouTube or on the blog or on Instagram or on Twitter, all those links are in the description. I do take some time thinking about how to crack the algorithm. So when I do a viral post like I did the other day, that's the result of research and development. When I have these small videos go viral here on YouTube, that's the result of me thinking and reflecting on and doing research on what works. The same thing for Instagram. When something goes well on Instagram, it's because I took the time to think and do some research on how to work the algorithm. And I shaved too. Yeah. Where do I find the time? Well, I don't sleep, sir. I don't sleep. And, this is the thing. And I think I was talking to Tobin about this the other day, is that if you're used to having kids, right, you spend a lot of your time with the kids when they're younger. But I'm at the stage of my life that, my kids just literally do not need me all the time. But I still have a lot of energy. So, I was able to just crank out a lot of material yesterday. All right. Funny video. We're going to do something funny. Put a smile on your face, right? Let's do that. Nothing but cats, everyone. Nothing but cats. That gets my blood pressure down a bit, I think. Watching cats. And hey, there's actually an Amazon link to my wish list down there. There's actually a toy that you could get, Biscuit, if you wanted to. And if you get a toy for Biscuit, I will do a video of Biscuit playing around with it. It's one of those silly little fish toys that move around, right? That flop around. I don't know. Cuteness overload indeed. All right, everyone. Thanks for showing up. 10 o'clock, we're doing the after party after show for atheists, humanists, and progressives once again. And I'm going to do the thank you video for patrons and YouTube members. I'll see you at 10, everyone. And if you're not here at 10, I'll see you tomorrow at 9. So I didn't see this until just now. I was asked, how is Biscuit doing, Scott D? Well, Biscuit's actually doing quite well. Yeah. I've had 4 cats in my life, including Biscuit, and by far, Biscuit is the most well-behaved and happiest. And I'm lucked out with getting Biscuit, everyone. And she was just a cat that we found via a Facebook group. Went on a Facebook because we couldn't find any cats at shelters. They were just being picked up really fast. So as many of you know, I went on Facebook at the request. I think someone suggested, maybe Jessi Bear. And yeah, I just found this gray cat. Or my girlfriend and I found this gray cat. So, hey, I'll see you at 10, everyone.